Platonic Creed Part 2. 11. I believe that the great body of this world, which subsists in a perpetual dispersion of temporal extension, may be properly called a whole, with a total subsistence, or a whole of wholes, on account of the perpetuity of its duration, though this is nothing more than a flowing eternity. That the other wholes which it contains are the celestial spheres, the sphere of ether, the whole of air considered as one great orb, the whole earth, and the whole sea. That these spheres are parts with a total subsistence, and through this subsistence are perpetual. 12. I believe that all the parts of the universe are unable to participate of the providence of divinity in a similar manner, but some of its parts enjoy this eternally, and others temporally, some in a primary and others in a secondary degree, for the universe being a perfect whole, must have a first, a middle, and a last part. But its first parts, as having the most excellent subsistence, must always exist according to nature, and its last parts must sometimes exist according to, and sometimes contrary to nature. Hence the celestial bodies, which are the first parts of the universe, perpetually subsist according to nature, both the whole spheres, and the multitude coordinate to these wholes, and the only three alteration which they experience is a mutation of figure, and variation of light at different periods, but in the sublunary region, while the spheres of the elements remain on account of their subsistence, as wholes, always according to nature, the parts of the wholes have sometimes a natural, and sometimes an unnatural subsistence, for thus alone can the circle of generation unfold all the variety which it contains. The different periods therefore in which these mutations happen, are with great propriety called by Plato, periods of fertility and sterility, for in these periods of fertility or sterility of men, animals, and plants, takes place, so that in fertile periods mankind will be both more numerous, and upon the whole superior in mental and bodily endowments to the men of a barren period. And a similar reasoning must be extended to irrational animals and plants. The most dreadful consequence, likewise, attending a barren period with respect to mankind is this, that in such a period they have no scientific theology, and deny the existence of the immediate progeny of the ineffable cause of all things. 13. I believe that as the divinities are eternally good and profitable, but are never noxious, and ever subsist in the same uniform mode of being, we are conjoined with them through similitude when we are virtuous, but separated from them through dissimilitude when we are vicious. That while we live according to virtue we partake of the gods, but cause them to be our enemies when we become evil, not that they are angry, for anger is a passion, and they are impassive, but because guilt prevents us from receiving the illuminations of the gods, and subjects us to the power of demons of fateful justice. Hence, I believe, that if we obtain pardon of our guilt through prayers and sacrifices, we neither appease the gods, nor cause any mutation to take place in them, but by methods of this kind, and by our conversion to a divine nature, we apply a remedy to our vices, and again become partakers of the goodness of the gods. So that it is the same thing to assert, that divinity is turned from the evil, as to say that the sun is concealed from those who are deprived of sight. 14. I believe that a divine nature is not indigent of anything. But the honors which are paid to the gods are performed for the sake of the advantage of those who pay them. Hence, since the providence of the gods is extended everywhere, a certain habitude or fitness is all that is requisite for the reception of their beneficent communications. But all habitude is produced through imitation and similitude. On this account temples imitate the heavens, but altars the earth. Statues resemble life, and on this account they are similar to animals. Herbs and stones resemble matter, and animals which are sacrificed, the irrational life of our souls. From all these, however, Nothing happens to the gods beyond what they already possess, for what accession can be made to a divine nature? But a conjunction of our souls with the gods is by these means effected. 15. I believe that as the world considered as one great comprehending whole is a divine animal, so likewise every whole which it contains is a world, possessing in the first place a self-perfect unity proceeding from the ineffable, by which it becomes a god, in the second place, a divine intellect, in the third place, a divine soul, and in the last place a deified body. That each of these wholes is the producing cause of all the multitude which it contains, and on this account is said to be a whole prior to parts, because considered as possessing an eternal form which holds all its parts together, and gives to the whole perpetuity of subsistence, it is not indigent of such parts to the perfection of its being. And it follows by a geometrical necessity, that these wholes which rank thus high in the universe must be animated. Thanks for watching and please subscribe.